Hello, everyone, and welcome to Faith Unfiltered and Resilient podcast. Here we discuss many different things, and this podcast may be triggering to some viewers. Please be aware that each conversation is unique, and there may be discussions of sexual assaults, drug usage, and mental health episodes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Faith Unfiltered and Resilient podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those that may be listening to this may be like one of your first episodes, thank you so much for joining. I have now officially had Faith Unfiltered and Resilient podcast for a year now. So the dream came about a year ago when I was just hanging out talking with my friends. We always talked about having a podcast, and something just told me, like, Faith, like, do it. So I did it. I just started researching a little bit, and now I'm here, and I have recorded more than 10. I just have only put out, this would be my 10th one. I have recorded 2 in this past 2 months, but the audio did not record properly, so that was really frustrating. And yeah, so I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be recording one. Every time that I'm a part of my podcast and I am involved in it and just any kind of work in it, even though I'm very tired, I always just feel so full, and I always feel like it brings me closer to Christ, and that is just like such an amazing feeling. But it is definitely hard living in the fleshly desires and wanting to please my flesh here while I'm here on earth, because it's just like easier, especially after working, long days. So I'm just really excited to be celebrating my 1-year anniversary. For those that have been following me from the very beginning, thank you. You guys have truly seen the full transformation. And for those that are just tuning in and listening with me, thank you. Thank you for jumping in. This is just the beginning. So you got to miss out on all the fun stuff, the fun ratchet ghetto, going through some stuff, teenage stuff. You missed out on the teenage stuff, but we do talk about that a lot. I have talked about that a lot, and I am trying to get better about having people on my podcast. I have been talking with people, family, friends, to start recording together, so it's not just me talking, because I do think what I have to say, like, is valuable. I think that it's even better. Like, I learn so much more getting other people in and other perspectives. It is kind of like not difficult, but like I get in my head a lot about just being a solo talker. Like, I just feel like maybe what I have to say isn't as valuable anymore, or I'm just getting super repetitive, and I get frustrated and hard on myself. But I know that is the enemy coming at me, because I know that there's things that I say that is just so important and so helpful in planting those seeds, and that's my goal. And I feel like my passion has kind of, like, not passion, but like in a sense, but like my passion has like died down. Like, I feel like I'm being drained so much right now. So that was a big sign to me that I need to start making some changes. So I've got some exciting things going on. Nothing is confirmed yet, so I'll be sharing that with you guys here in my next one. Hopefully my next one, everything will be confirmed and good, and everybody that needs to know first will know, and then I can like announce it publicly. But I'm super excited. God is just so good, and I am nervous for this next chapter, but I know that he's leading the way, and that I am doing my very I'm following Christ, and I'm asking for his guidance and his strength and wisdom, and I'm living the life that he has for me, and it is beautiful. I'm learning to actually be in the moment with it. Um, Zuma, sorry, my pup. He's over here gnawing on his banana toy. Like, hold on. He is wanting to play, and he's just over here gnawing on his banana. And in the background, you're just gonna hear him gnawing. Um, so what was I saying? It's okay. Take a deep breath. What was I saying? See, I'm getting frustrated. I'm putting too much pressure on these podcasts. I'm putting pressure as in like what I need to say. Not necessarily needs to be perfect, but it needs to be like it just needs to be a strong topic, I guess. And I'm getting frustrated over feeling like I just don't have much to say. But I'm like, Faith, you have so much to say. But I'm just living the life that God has for me, and it's not very it's not always easy, but it is simple, and just letting go and just trying my best to enjoy what I have in the moment and where I'm at, and enjoying the process. Enjoying the process is just like everyone like hears it, and you're like, oh yeah, just slow down. But it's like nobody really talks about. I mean, I feel like we're getting better. I do feel like our generation, and at least my feed, um, is like getting better at talking about what that looks like, and having to actually slow down, and it's having to ground yourself, like using grounding techniques, like the using the five senses, and being like, okay, like I smell my laundry soap, like I see my dog drinking from his water bowl. Like I feel my blanket. And like so that is one that I've used. And then there's also I just learned a new one that I liked, that it was well, I saw it before, but it started like using more of a new one where I'd be like, today is, and like say the day, like today is October 7th. It is a Tuesday. Like just helping ground yourself for the here and now, um and then having to actively choose something different, like a different reaction. And something that actually helped me as well recently, her name's Teal Swan. I don't know if you've guys have heard of her. She's amazing. I love her. I don't agree with absolutely everything that somebody says. That's just not how things work. But a lot of things that she says, there's a lot of value in them, and I've learned a lot. And she just recently, I saw one, and she said about how people struggle with just wanting to let things go and just be done, and just having to let go, and that's it, like that's all you have to do. And like I was like, I felt like that's what I had to do. And she just shared that that's not how it works. Like you have to you have those thoughts of, so what would, like, what's an example? So like none of my friends care about me. Like I'm not super important or valuable in their life. And evidence has backed up before why you feel that way. So for me, because of the way, like, obviously my parents and growing up like that, certain friends just feeling like I'm not important, like I'm not a priority. So because of that being instilled in me as a child, I grow up and I struggle with my relationships, feeling like it's the just the insecurities of that. Well, like just okay, let go of that. Like just telling myself like that's not true. That's not helpful in the moment. And so what I found to be helpful, and it clicked when she shared this video, is where she says you have to find evidence to back up the new thought. And I'm like, oh shit, that makes a lot of fucking sense. So now, like, if my friend doesn't answer my phone call or doesn't call me back immediately, or not even immediately, but it doesn't call me back that day, or doesn't answer my phone call, doesn't answer my text for any of my friends or my siblings or anything, like I actively point out evidence of, well, like of how they've been there for me, and like, okay, well, this is what we just did last week, and oh, in that conversation she really validated me, or in, oh, like whenever he doesn't respond, he'll text me, like when he's having a busy day, like he'll text me that, like showing all the evidence that like I am valuable and that we have that friendship, or like, yeah, so I've been doing that and like focusing on the evidence of what's actually real, and rather than making things up in my head, because that's definitely something that I struggle with still being in my head. And then I feel like I got like my head started becoming a little bit better of a place, and so I was like, oh, I can still be in here, like because I'm praying more, I'm worshiping more, I'm talking to God more. But then it's like my thought still was like a carnival ride, and I still like struggle with this. I just recently started like more having more self-awareness of this, that like you still have to get out of your head, because even though it's a little bit better place to be, and I mean a lot better place to be, it's still like can get rough, because you just start like the OCD, just continuous obsession over these thoughts of like, then it turns to, am I praying enough, am I talking enough, am I doing this, like do you hear me? And so I've been having to like sing my songs out loud. That is super helpful. Is I'll start singing out loud, just doing things that make me ground me to the here and now and to the reality that I'm currently living in. Um, so yeah, so that's been super helpful. I think my current position and job is helping with learning these things, because I have no other option, because I'm so busy and I'm dealing with so many different families at once, and I love having a caseload. I love serving my families. This is just a different kind of, like, it's different from what I've done before. I've never done this before. So now I've been in it for about, oh, this will be my 10th month, right? Yeah. So about 10 months. And so it's really exciting to see my growth and to see where I'm at. Because I've came such a long way, but it is still like I'm learning. Just being in the social work field, it is very exhausting and hard to take on everybody's problems, and learning not to take them as your own, and just telling myself I am observing, not absorbing. Miss Star helped me with that. And yeah, just those kinds of things, like separating yourself. One thing that I've really um been working on with myself, and is learning that like nothing, like everything, it doesn't have to be good and bad. Like this whole, it's just ideas to like put us against each other, and to like, don't get me wrong, like there's things that are morally like not right and stuff like that that I process in my head, but like having like being stuck in traffic, like does it have to be like a good or bad thing? Like it's just, I'm trying to experience life, the life that I have in this experience, and taking it all as like it's just an experience. It's not, oh my god, this is so bad. Like I'm trying not to rely so much on my emotions. I'm trying not to be like, oh, like this is so amazing, and I've talked about this before in other podcasts. I think it's going to be something that I deal with throughout my whole life, because there's going to be different chapters, different things. We live in our flesh here. So trying to, just doing more of getting out of the flesh and living in your soul, and living in the life that, your God and your Christ and your relationship with God, what that looks like. Like, there's one Christ, and, my beliefs, I don't push on anybody. I just always like to share that, this is an open kind of conversation that I have. Like, I really love, I always want my listeners to know, and my friends and people, that like I have been down various levels of religion, no religion, of different beliefs, and I've learned so much from talking to everybody. We do not have to have that. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit different. We do not have to have the same beliefs to have like connections and relationships, because that is one thing um where I love learning, especially even from like my enemies, what you'd say, like people that I totally disagree with. Like, I think it's so important that we also have open dialogue conversations and listen to one another, because that's how we learn. And we have to ask these questions. And even if after that conversation that I have with somebody that I have completely disagreements with, that still makes me more strong in my faith and my beliefs or whatever it is. And I have to just be something about faith, but in my perspective, because you have just shown to me why I still believe this. And then sometimes I leave that conversation feeling like, oh wow, like that's a shift in perspective. Like I never thought of it that way. So yeah, like I love having those kinds of conversations. I believe that we should treat everybody um with love and respect, and it's representation of us and what people go through. Um we just have to we can set our boundaries and be loving, but everything I feel like should come from a place of love within ourself and respect of humanity and just one another. Um so yeah, I forget where I was going with this. I don't know. I just always go on my little rants. I just wanted to get up on here and I've been getting lots of love, so much love from people just encouraging me. I don't even promote my podcast like that like I want to, or like I know I can, and I get so much love, and I just get like people following me randomly, and I'm just like I need to be so much more involved in this because I know that there's more people that need to hear my story, more seeds to plant. There's so like this is I know that this is going to be so much bigger one day, and I'm just in the middle of it, and it's hard because I'm tired and frustrated, and I got a house to clean and families to serve, and I have a son to raise, and I just get so overwhelmed with everything on my plate. But I know this is everything I've prayed for, this is everything I've asked for, and I know that I can manage it because one, I have Christ and I'm figuring it out through him. And that's what is like, that's what I was talking about. So that is what is amazing about this current chapter that I'm in right now, is that I'm just being forced to meal prep. I'm being forced to do things to take care of myself. I'm being forced to go to bed early because if I don't, I physically, mentally cannot get through the next day, let alone the week. And it shows in my work, it shows in how I treat my son, it shows in how I treat my friends, my baby daddy. Like if I do not eat well, sleep well, take care of myself, and take care of the temple that I have here, it just is a shit show. And I've worked way too hard for me to ever do anything to lose it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody. I prayed a very strong prayer before this. I'm gonna cry. And I got like emotional, and I was like, why am I getting so emotional? I just think that through each chapter, I'm going to continue to learn and grow in each season. And I'm just so beyond blessed for the people that God has sent me and he continues to send me. And the way that Christ and people make me feel, and I know it's God through them. I know it's just so amazing. Like, I just want to be that for other people. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself feeling like I don't know, like it's my own self-worth. I'm like, oh, I don't do that for other people, and like I just want to do more, I think. And my job does a mixture of both. Like sometimes I feel really success with families, and other families, it's not as successful. Nothing maybe that I did, maybe it is something I did. Um, Usually it's more of like, the system fail us, or like families aren't ready, and that's okay. But like it's hard not to take both of those personal, and that also ties back into the good and bad experiences. Like I'm wanting to really just live through my soul and just know that it's just an experience. Not everything has to be this horrible bad thing. I don't have to be so aggravated all the time. I don't have to be so ecstatically happy about stuff. Like it's like I think feeling joy is important. I'm not saying it's not. I think feeling sadness is important. I think feeling all of our emotions to a certain extent, we have to. We're humans. It is healthy and it is important. But I think it's like I don't want to lead so much by emotion. Like I've talked about before, you don't go shopping when you're hungry. You don't go on dates or dating when you're horny. Like there's certain things that you don't do because you're not thinking clearly. And I just want to take more time to feel my emotions and be like, you know what? That wasn't but it's see, and it's hard because we're all like we're tied into like labels. Everything has a label and everything has a certain like level that we have to hit. Like with work, is it a successful family or is it unsuccessful? And like I think it gets hard for me not to take those kinds of things personal, because I'm directly working with the families. And like the good ones, like I don't want to get on a high horse, and then the bad ones, I don't want it to bring me down. Like I want to be at a very humble pedestal of like I am just doing my best and that is enough. And living out these experiences that I have, I'm just so blessed too. I'm so blessed for the ups and the downs and all of it. And even in the midst of it, it's not always that easy, but I will say I'm so proud because I have done a really good job about leveling myself out, about not using outside things make me to make me like focusing on that. Like I'm not perfect by any means, but I have just learned to regulate my emotions much better this past year, and I'm just ground myself and know that I'm safe. And I'm so thankful for that, and all of that is because of course Christ and my friends and my family. And I'm just very beyond thankful for this past year and for the laying the foundation and the intention of Faith Unfiltered and Resilient. And next up, it's just this next year is I'm going to focus on really I want to create valuable content, and I want it to be more than just me talking about my life and my day. I want to use my studies, incorporate my studies into that, things that I've learned. Yeah, so I've got some really good ideas, and I think that I just want to make this world a little bit better place. I just want to do my part in planting seeds, making the world a better place, sharing my story, knowing that it does not control me, knowing that it does not hold me down. We have generational traumas, absolutely. That is what has gotten me here and to this point, but now it's about generational healing. And that's the life I'm going to provide for my son. That's the life you are going to provide for your family, for yourself. And you deserve it. Your family deserves it. And it's through it all, there's going to be ups and downs, but we're going to continue to ride this wave, and we're not going to give up. We sure aren't. So I hope you guys have a fantastic start to your fall. It is finally starting to feel like Florida fall. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. If there's anything that you would like maybe me to like discuss or talk about, if there's stuff that like maybe you have questions on, like I know I'm definitely going to talk about my I have lots of things, but I know I'm going to talk about my experience of getting arrested as a juvenile. I know that is a big one that was very huge, and I need to explain that in a very I just want to be very intentional about how I explain that, because it was of such a crazy out of body experience. And yeah, so I'm definitely got some ideas for things, but if there's like any, I guess like mental health topics that you guys would like to learn more about from my studies, things like that. I am not a licensed professional at all. I can just share with you what I have learned throughout my time in college and just different kind of techniques, and go into more in depth of different like kind of therapies that they are, because I think that is so big too, is that like people, because there's like a trending therapy, everybody wants to do it. And I think it's so important that you figure out like what kind of therapy works for you. Like there's many people that are like, oh, I don't want to go to therapy because I want to just talk about my past. There's therapists that don't do that. There's therapists that are like more solution focused, and like we don't need to talk about your past unless it comes up in a certain way, but we don't need to be like, not everybody needs to sit on a therapist couch and it's like, so what happened when you were 5 years old? Like not everybody needs to go through that, and I absolutely respect and know that is a reality for people. Like I can't journal. Journaling a little bit helps me, but I can't get into it too much because I get into the continuous loop. But journaling helps for some people. There's so many different things. So my mind is a brewing. I thank you guys. You guys have a great October. I'm actually going to go this time. I do the Southern goodbyes where I say bye 15 times and I never say goodbye. So, love you guys. Thank you. There'll be much more. And yay! Happy anniversary. Happy birthday to Faith Unfiltered and Resilient podcast. It's been a year. So excited. Let's see what this next year brings. Bye, guys.